Are you counting down? Who's counting down?
I was just doing the .4 thing.
.4.
Okay, that's 4.
Are we starting this right now?
You lead off.
You're the host. Come on.
Is it like this? 4 down.
Oof.
Now we gotta go this way.
.4. Chapter 4. Right? Are we on chapter 4?
Correct.
Wow. Awesome.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. Better than ever.
You're still sick though.
Right away. Right away.
He's coughing. He's coughing down there.
Yeah, you're all sick, getting me sick. We're gonna do a little, I think last time we called it like a takeover, like Vince's takeover, but we're gonna do some early Vince McMahon history and then a little bit of a lead up to the first WrestleMania, because I think the first WrestleMania really set a tone for the new way of wrestling and I guess what am I trying to say? It's just something new for wrestling fans because they had Starcades, they had NWA had some type of
pay-per-views.
They had their pay-per-views, but for Vince and the East Coast, I guess this was like the first big one, right?
To set them apart from everybody else.
And that's about the same time that Vince started buying up territories. Is that correct?
Yeah, like early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the first WrestleMania was what? There was a glare.
1985.
85.
What was it? March 31st?
March 31st.
March 31st.
At Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden, yes. But yeah, McMahon.
Is that New York City?
That's in New York City, America.
Okay.
U.S. America. Vince McMahon started. He was working for his dad. He made his debut as a ring announcer in 1969. That's when it was Worldwide Wrestling Federation, and Vince actually pushed his dad to drop one of the F's or drop one of the W's. They didn't drop the F till the.
It would have been just WWW.
WWW.
I did like Vince commentary.
Yeah,
I thought he did.
He was very charismatic and yeah.
I mean, he knew how to talk and build up a guy like how he's still doing to this day in people's ears now.
This is probably the perfect job for him, is to be in the entertainment business. He's just so loud and big. His character, his persona is just big. So to just start as a ring announcer, that was like perfect for someone like him. He's got the voice. So what else?
Oh yeah, it was 69 when he debuted with his dad.
Yep.
And then 79 is when they founded.
Vince McMahon started Titan Sports. Yeah. That was, I think that might have been his way of getting his foot in the door. He probably wanted to do his own thing because he wanted to be a wrestler. His dad didn't want him to be. So then just after that, 82, he acquired, I think it was Capital Wrestling Company was the business name for Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
That's when Vince took it over from his dad.
He took it over from his dad, and then I think it was like 2 years later his dad died.
Yep.
Because he couldn't believe what he was doing.
Yeah, like, oh my God, 30 years from now it's going to be horrible.
I'll just have to wait for my future or son-in-law. What would be Triple H to great-grandson? In-law?
Son-in-law.
Yeah. So I think with the Titan Sports, he started up in 79, and then by 84 he had his
sights set on what he wanted.
He knew what he was going to do.
He had a vision on what he wanted to do.
He was
starting to start recruiting people.
He was scouting. He probably had scouts out there looking out who's the big names out there to
and all the other territories.
Well, when he took over from the old man, they were still part of the NWA association, right?
Yes.
The Wrestling Alliance.
Yes, because they split for the second time in '83, the year after he took over
the company.
So Senior was still affiliated with NWA. But then
Vince wanted no
Vince
Junior
yeah,
wanted no part in it.
Yep, that's when he wanted to do things on his own and go his own route.
Want to go global.
Yeah, just take over the world, and he pretty much did.
And that brings us to like his probably his biggest recruit.
Hogan.
Yep, Hulk Hogan.
1984.
Yep, got him from because Hogan started in Florida and then went to the AWA with Vern Gagne and Greg Gagne.
You only have to say Greg Gagne once.
I said Vern first.
Oh.
Jason, settle down.
He's still shaking his head.
But anyways, yeah, the recruited Hogan, and after recruited Hogan, then that's when things started happening for him.
Because who was the champion at the time?
The Iron Sheik.
Okay. Because for years they were running with Bruno.
Yeah, and I
It
think
was Backlund, right?
Bob Backlund was champ for what?
it was the Iron Sheik, correct?
Correct.
And she beats Backlund.
Yeah, that was part of the build-up. You know, like, hey, let's bring in this
American.
Mr. Hogan.
So,
All American.
Yeah.
how long? What's the? I forgot to look into this, but what's the timeline between Backlund dropping the belt to the Sheik and then the Sheik dropping it
I
to
don't think
Hogan?
the Sheik had it very long. I think it was a quick turnover. because
There
it
was a lot
build-up.
of turnover before Mania then because.
Yeah, there was a lot of the champions that were champions. They lose their belt, then some of them got it back, some didn't.
We need to put it on someone else to look good at Mania.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when July 23rd of '84 Brawl to end it all
Took place.
and that was like a pregame show to Mania.
And that was when they partnered with
They were starting
to partner with
MTV. Yeah.
The Rock and Wrestling Connection.
Yep.
And that's where you
Well,
got
Vince was smart that way. I mean, he was really smart because the kids were watching MTV.
Yep.
MTV was huge.
That was when it was first getting popular too. So they were both. I think. Yeah. Vince just knew what to do and when.
Yeah. I mean, MTV was huge, and it's like, oh, let's get our product on a channel that everybody's watching.
And what did you say earlier with Cyndi Lauper's manager,
David Wolf.
He was
He was a huge wrestling fan, and I think he was pretty much the one to get everything started.
Yeah, because he had Captain Lou in the Girls Just Want to Have Fun video.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a bunch of other stuff. At that point, then all of a sudden you started seeing more WWE working with the MTV. I believe.
you're probably correct.
I could be wrong though. Not
Could be.
100%.
And then when did the war to? Okay, so let's do some Wendy Richter history here for everybody. So Brawl to end it all. Moolah had the belt. Oh, did I not write that down? Who had the belt?
Moolah had it, dropped it to Wendy.
No, she.
At the Brawl to end it all.
Yeah.
And the
then
war to settle the score. is
Lelena
where
Kay
took
beat
it from
Richter,
Richter.
and then you
That set
had
up your match for WrestleMania.
you had Lelena Kay in a rematch against Richter for the championship.
And then Richter had Cyndi Lauper in the corner, and
Moolah was in the other.
Moolah was in the other corner, and
But to have that figure of, Cyndi Lauper, huge at that time, to be involved in a storyline like that,
Yeah.
I mean, she even got physical.
Yeah.
Piper kicked her.
Yep. That was cool.
well, that's where I guess you could say when you had Cyndi Lauper there, and then they're like, well, let's make this the spectacle, and that's how WrestleMania started.
Man, it was a slow burn.
That was a slow, probably what, at least a 2-year.
Yeah.
About
Burn,
2 years,
yeah.
and then Vince finally is like, well, let's start Mania.
The Colossal Tussle.
Yeah. What was it supposed to be called before they changed it to Mania?
Right? The Colossal Tussle.
Colossal Tussle.
Colossal Tussle.
God, they changed that.
What I think I read like 6 weeks before, or had been 6 months before the actual event. They were going that route.
Colossal
And then
Tussle.
a meeting with, I think I read it, Howard Finkel and George Scott. They were talking about.
We can't sell that.
Yeah.
How are you going to put that on a
They
t-shirt?
said Mania. Somebody said Mania at a meeting, and then somebody put Wrestle in front of it, and they're like, that sounds a lot better. Let's go with that.
Which could you imagine if we'd be going for Colossal Tussle 30?
Undertaker's streak at Colossal Tussle.
Yeah. No, the
Mr.
WrestleMania was the
Shawn Michaels is Mr. Colossal Tussle.
yeah.
Oh my God!
Wow. Yeah.
So that could have changed the whole.
I don't think they would have made it to
No.
2 or 3 Manias.
They would have failed for the first one because of the name.
Nobody, if you can barely pronounce it, that's a tongue twister, right?
Yeah.
Colossal Tussle.
But they ended up doing something like that anyways with Andre and Bundy.
Yeah, what was it called?
That was the Colossal.
Was it Colossal?
Something, I don't remember.
But that was before or after Mania?
That was before.
Right before.
Yeah. They ended up using the name after anyways.
And no one's probably ever even heard of that.
Yeah.
No.
So, okay, you, Mike and Billy, you guys actually saw Mania, right?
I've watched. I didn't see it live. I did not.
Oh, I thought.
I might have.
Mikey, did you go? I thought you went with a friend.
Yeah,
did your dad take you to see it?
No, I saw it on Ryan Bublitz's TV.
Oh,
He had one of those great big.
but you saw it live
dishes?
while it was happening.
Watched it live?
Yeah.
And see, and I didn't see it till the second one. That's when I missed the first one.
Oh, okay.
And the
But
second
then-
one I saw in closed circuit.
Yeah.
Got it.
Box leader.
No, that's the only way you could have, right?
Yeah.
Unless you were there.
Yeah.
Because the attendance for the first WrestleMania was only 19,000.
But it was at the Madison
is it
Square Garden,
MSG?
so
Yeah.
MSG
so
doesn't.
That doesn't
They
hold
were
that many.
playing it safe. You know, it's like, oh, let's
they want to
see
have
how-
a sold out show. Want to have a sold out show, and
And they knew they could always sell out Madison Square Garden.
How much were
Yep.
tickets?
Bruno always sold it out.
Yeah, and he was part of it.
Yeah.
He was in I think it was in his son's corner for a match.
David San Martino.
Yeah.
But getting to Mania, they had a lot of build up to it.
Yeah.
With like we said with the MTV, but you had Hogan and Mr. T. They were going around everywhere, and I think you said it to Rocco that Saturday Night Live the night before WrestleMania they hosted, wasn't it?
13 hours before WrestleMania. Yeah, they
They were
hosted
hosting Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
But they also were the two main guys that were going around and promoting it to wasn't our Arsenio Hall show and
Yeah, they were everywhere.
everywhere you looked they were there promoting it to try to make it.
Another smart move on Vince's behalf. Let's get our big man that we know is going to be our face of the company,
In the main event,
and who was huge at the time,
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
The A-Team.
Let's let them guys roll around, get our champion out there, and show his face.
And what
around.
show was he on?
The A-Team.
Yeah, that was awesome. You didn't like it?
I was more of a chips guy myself.
Wow, we're going all
Frank
rails.
Ponzarello.
Chips.
If it was still on, I'd watch it today.
You would not.
I would.
What is that, California Highway Patrol or something?
Yep.
All right, let's stick with wrestling.
Yeah.
Anyways, the build up to Mania with Hogan and Mr. T going around everywhere, that sold tickets. You have Hogan and Mr. T saying these pity the fools and blah blah blah, and so I think that was the big key with the like you said, the rock and wrestling connection with the MTV stuff they had. Have Cyndi Lauper come over, then they have Mr. T in the main event of the card for a show that you're not sure it's going to sell out, or you're not sure how it's going to do on buys because it's the first time you're trying it.
Yep.
So you're sticking a lot of. I know Vince put a lot of his own money into it.
That's
and
what
if
they
it would
said.
have failed,
If they would have failed,
we wouldn't have
exactly
WWE today.
Yeah.
Exactly. They
Because it put basically the house on it.
they put their house on it.
Who did?
Vince.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, because it costs a
Everything
lot of
he owned.
money. Everything
yeah.
he owned, he put into it just to make it happen. Because
Well, I mean, when you
Kinda
bring
like-
in guys like Billy Martin at the time, Liberace,
Muhammad Ali,
oh,
the Rockettes were with
the
Liberace.
Rockettes. Hey, these guys aren't cheap. I don't. think.
Rockettes don't
They're not-
work for cheap.
They're
with
not.
those legs.
They're not doing it. Oh yeah, I think this is going to be a success.
Yeah.
They want to get paid.
Exactly, and
If it-
you
if it
bring in the
fails.
big time names at the time in '85, and you're in New York.
Yeah.
So you got the Rockettes, Muhammad Ali. Then he wasn't a lot of his big fights at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not a big boxing fan.
You bring in
but-
those guys.
Billy Martin was the manager of the Yankees at the time.
That was a
Yep.
cheap pop right there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and so you're bringing in all these guys, and then of course you bring in Hogan and T, promoting it. You're gonna sell.
And on the opposite side, you have them facing the most hated heel in the business, Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Who really did hate Mr. T.
Exactly.
Yeah. That helped.
And so you got the whole build up for it, and that's why WrestleMania.
Yeah, the whole build up with Piper was the verbal
build up. You know, no altercations really.
No,
they didn't have any altercations until the night of the show.
Didn't touch. You know, and then Piper could, God, belittle a broomstick. You know.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was so smart,
awesome
quick.
talker.
I couldn't find prices on WrestleMania 1 tickets. Like just.
Well, I'm sure they're not what they're going for today.
I was gonna say I doubt they were that.
I was just curious. Are they $10?
My guess would be like ringside back in that time.
Probably $10, right?
No, I'd say 100, 150.
You think?
Yeah, I would say they were probably
In that range.
I would have guessed cheaper.
Yeah.
No, I'd say probably 100.
When you're paying like $1,000 now, that's only 30. Well,
35 years.
oh yeah,
WrestleMania 35.
35 years ago. So
Spash education.
yeah, I'd say about 100 to 150 bucks for ringside. If you, and then obviously nosebleeds were.
We'll have our research team look it up.
Research team.
Oh, they missed the show today. Sorry.
They took this week off.
They needed. They're on vacation. Do you guys have any favorite matches from the first Mania?
Well, you know, back then, when you were 8, 9, 10 years old at the time.
We're all Hogan marks.
Yeah, I mean that was the only one that really stuck out for me.
Yeah.
And you know, and granted, now we go back and watch this stuff, and it's like, wow, that was a good match.
Yeah.
Now we see it for the wrestling and not just the theatricals.
The other one that got a lot of publicity was the Wendy Richter and the
Heaven Lauper there.
Leilani Kai or whatever. Yeah, with Lauper and Moolah in the corner there. You know, that got some. I remember that one.
Yeah.
That one sticks out because of Cyndi Lauper.
Then of course the Body Slam Challenge with Andre the Giant and
Was
Big
it
John
like
Studd.
was it $15,000?
Something like that.
And then Bobby the Brain stole the money from Andre after the match.
I mean, it's kind of funny, you know, looking back at it when you're a kid watching it, and then you get older, and then you kind of do a little research and you figure out, oh my God, the U.S. Express, that's IRS and Barry Windham.
Yeah.
You know
and that's the fathers of
Blackjack Mulligan.
and then even
their father was Blackjack Mulligan.
Barry Windham's dad is Blackjack
I'm
Mulligan.
thinking.
Where'd you
I
get
thought
this guy?
no, I
But
thought
Barry Windham has a kid in the
Want
business.
me to go heel turn now?
Yeah, maybe. maybe.
Does Windham have a kid in the business?
yeah, he had
I know Rotundo has.
Bray Wyatt and
Dallas.
Both
Yeah.
Dallas.
I thought you meant their dads. Smart ass.
but no, just seeing like the guys back then, you know, like the Executioner, so you know who
Who was the executioner? That was Buddy Rose.
Buddy Rose.
And that was the first match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
First ever match that Vince put his money on the line for was Tito Santana
Against Buddy
the
Rose.
Executioner, Buddy Rose, Playboy Buddy Rose.
That was for the IC belt.
No, that was just the opening match.
JYD and Greg DeHam.
That was the IC championship
Yep.
match.
Yeah.
And it was a no contest that JYD won, Junkyard Dog. But
So he didn't get the belt.
no.
No.
But just seeing some, you know, like Matt Bourne versus Steamboat.
Yeah.
You know,
I completely forgot Matt Bourne was on the first WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You guys told me that.
you look back, it's like, oh,
And I think
wait a
that's
minute, he grew up to be Doink.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it someday, kid.
It's amazing when you are a little kid and you're into this, then you're an adult and then you come back and you're like that match wasn't the greatest or that match was good.
I don't think any of them were the greatest matches.
No.
You know, and the thing too is now, like, you look at back then and now, you know, you see some of the guys doing some of the moves now and you see some of the guys back then doing some of the same moves, and it's like, wow, that looked like it hurt.
But if you go back and look at the card, they had all these baby faces against the most hated
people
to make the crowd, you know, get behind you.
The fans
They
put
get the
emotion
raw
into
emotion
it. Then.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you got the U.S. Express against, that's
The-
Rotunda and Wyndham against Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik.
Yep.
Probably the two most hated wrestlers at the
Oh,
time.
easy, chic.
Besides Piper and Orndorff.
Yeah.
Because they
Go USA, you know, versus. So I mean, there you got the heat right off the bat. And who are you gonna cheer for? Oh yeah, the U.S. Express.
Yeah, I guess I would have cheered for him back then too.
U.S. Express just picked the belts up, like right before Mania. Who was that? Who'd they get them from?
I couldn't tell you.
I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't.
Was it the Dream Team?
No, the Dream
No,
Team.
the Dream Team was separate yet. They weren't together.
Yeah,
yet at
it was
that time.
after
Greg the
Mania.
Hammer was still.
Okay.
Yeah, because Hammer was with Jimmy Hart at the time, and Brutus was with Luscious Johnny Valiant. And then something must happen with the Hart family, and probably the Hart Foundation came into play. Because that was around that time, wasn't it? Or early
Very early,
80s,
yeah.
or mid 80s. And so then maybe that's why Hammer left and went with Brutus and became the Dream Team, because they did have matches too with the Dream Team against Hart Foundation,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that that's what happened, is that the Hammer was with Jimmy Hart, but then after a couple of Manias, and they went to.
You know, if I would have paid more attention back in the day, that would have been like so exciting. Like, oh my God, can you believe Greg the Hammer left his manager, or Brutus left his manager and went with somebody else? And
Yeah, can you, if we were probably 5 to 10 years older in 85, we would probably understand
more.
Yeah.
And can you imagine just analyzing that then the way we are doing it now?
yeah,
That just blows my mind. Because we analyze this stuff and we critique it and we dissect it. And to be able to, if we could go back as us now to 85 and just go to Mania and just
No,
say,
that'd be pretty old then. Be like 70 now.
no, we like the hot tub time machine.
Yeah,
If we were
yeah.
40s
Yeah.
going back to 85,
yeah, it wouldn't be so innocent. You know, it'd be like, oh my God, can you believe S.D. Jones really botched that match with
9-second match, right?
it was
Yeah.
Man.
Well, it's supposed to be 9 seconds, and it ended up being
17.
17. Because yeah, he was.
King
supposed-
Kong Bundy, he should have
Did he
beat him a
like
lot
trip over the
faster.
rope or something?
Yeah, he like pushed him and he fell into the rope. That match should have been over a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Bundy did the 5 count, right?
Yep.
And that was a discussion I was hearing earlier, where that originated.
I never knew that until you told me.
I'll just chest your
With the
knowledge.
5 count?
Yeah, like if he started doing that in the WWF or
And he did it prior to it.
and he did it prior to it. Yeah,
Yep.
that's where
Because
we kinda
everybody
figured it
thinks that Vince created all this stuff.
out. Yeah,
No, a lot of
he
these
gets a
guys,
lot of credit.
they
Yeah, he
created
does get
their
a lot
own
of credit,
stuff.
which Vince does need to get a lot of credit for this.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys back in the day, they were in control of what they did.
Yeah.
And they made their own promos. They talked their own game. They made the build up for the match.
Yeah.
Now you have writers telling you what to do, and obviously
That's
we all
the
know
problem
how.
of today.
Yeah.
You're my soulmate in the ring.
I mean,
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog was Junkyard Dog before WWF.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
They all had
was
their own
Greg the
character
Hammer
persona.
Valentine.
And that's why Vince bought them and
Yeah,
brought them
correct.
in and recruited them. I
Hulkamania.
want that.
Yep.
Hulkamania, you can say it started when he won the title against the Iron Sheik, but you know
Yeah.
it was prior to that.
Yep.
When he was with AWA, I believe. When he changed name to Hulk Hogan, that's when,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe that's part of the reason why they got the name WrestleMania.
Hulkamania?
Hulkamania, WrestleMania. You know, it's hard
Wait,
to
what
say.
happened first? I thought Hulkamania came after WrestleMania.
Yeah, it did. No.
No, it was
Hulkamania was before WrestleMania.
It was before WrestleMania.
So that's why. So I'm.
You think the Fink said something about Hulk Hogan and his Hulkamania? How is Hulkamania gonna wrestle at Colossus Tussle? And then they changed it from
Colossus Tussle to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
So maybe that's
Hogan Mania.
That could be where, if we had more research.
God, I wish we could go back in time, man.
Yeah, that'd been fun.
Just to sit in that room,
Yeah.
sit in the conference room with the Fink and all those other
Well,
guys.
and you know, and the thing too
Vince.
is, I wish there'd be more, like how now social media and there's so much more of it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool back then if there'd be video. You know, like how
Yeah.
now on WWE Network after every big event,
Yeah.
they have a special, hour special.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be cool, and you know they have some stuff on.
It would be
WrestleMania,
nice
but-
if they had that documented.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go on YouTube a lot and like look at like different shoot interviews and stuff. some of those are interesting. Talking about they don't really talk about behind the scenes as the stuff, but
Well, and like you said, like we've said multiple times, back then you had good guys against bad guys. Now everybody's walking a fine line between good and bad, and nobody really knows who's good and who's bad.
You had kayfabe then too.
Yeah.
Well, what I've been doing lately on YouTube is trying to figure out timelines. Like when, Barry Windham, I'm like, God, I didn't remember he was in WWF that early. I always remembered him in WCW and the NWA stuff,
And then they went to WWF
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, trying to figure out timelines now and when guys were here.
And
Ricky Steamboat.
Blackjack too.
Yeah,
awesome matches.
A lot of the guys, they bounced around. They didn't have. They were all freelance contractors then.
So they could go to wherever they wanted to.
Came in for a month or two and then went somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's why you would see Wyndham and Rotundo at a Starcade or something I just saw recently, and then they were at Mania, and you forget about that because
it's just fascinating to see that stuff.
Yeah,
I was watching on the network the Flair and Steamboat feud, rivalries. And that was just unbelievable.
And they went town to town every night and burned the house down.
Yes.
Then. Yeah. And they had an hour match every night.
Man, I had that guy before. Let's bring him back and set him up with Savage, and maybe they can do a good match.
yeah, he looks good in the ring now. Now I'm going to bring him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then once you get that IC title,
have him lose the honky tonk match.
He's thinking, great, I'm gonna maybe go after the WWE World Championship. Nope.
Wait, who did Honky Tonk beat for the IC belt?
I think he beat Steamboat.
No.
Because I think Steamboat was on his way out.
Because he was frustrated because he wasn't getting pushed anymore. And that's a lot of these guys. That's why Rick Rude left.
And then Steamboat went to NWA to feud with Flair.
He's like,
those were some good matches.
They were the best.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But Vince was so set on Hulk Hogan being that guy that
because Vince likes the big guy.
Yeah.
Vince.
Nobody, just because you can
I don't care
wrestle
if it's 2019 or 1984. Vince has a weight threshold. If you're under 300 pounds, you're nothing. You're nothing.
No, I think if you're like
Back
under
in the day
225.
Back in the day, though, it was nothing but big guys.
Yeah.
That is because they just gave off more. They looked more powerful. It looked more realistic to have a 300-pound guy. Yeah.
It was until like the Attitude Era where they started like, all right, let's give these other guys a chance. Shawn Michaels.
The Cruiserweight Championship. I don't know.
But I mean, all the big guys, back in the day.
There were some big guys that were just absolutely horrendous, terrible.
Yeah.
Should not even been on the card.
A lot of the big guys didn't have the cardio or the ability like some of the big guys now, like Braun Strowman. What is he? 380?
Yeah.
That guy
He's got the ability to do anything.
He's got the ability to do anything. He can run. Back then, like Bundy and Andre
Kamala.
and Kamala.
Kamala could run.
Big John Studd. They're just big guys.
Kamala was a good worker though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good. He was underrated.
They hit you in the back, and you're down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said though, the big guys back then were the big guys, and their moves were dominating moves.
I think that's for me. It was always the big guys made it look real.
Yeah.
And if you walked up to this guy, it's like, wow, he could beat me up.
Yeah.
You go standing next to some of these other guys now, they're the same size as you or smaller.
Yeah.
To me, it's not believable.
I agree with that.
Like you guys always give me a hard time about not liking these little guys like Adam Cole. They need to be bigger than me at least.
But Adam Cole's good.
See, I look at wrestlers though. I mean,
now, yes, there's more talent now, I need to realize. I'm trying to. It's only been 35 years, but I'm trying to.
But yeah, you got to look at their talent and how they.
Yeah.
Just the moves they can do.
But who said it in a recent interview? These guys aren't gonna last long. These high flying guys.
Some crazy bumps.
But
your body takes a crap.
Look at Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah. He's still going.
And he had some matches against Big Show and all those big guys.
He's a rarity. Yeah. I give him
and don't
that.
get me wrong, he's had his share of injuries.
Oh yeah.
But he's
he's still around.
Like the energized buddy.
Crazy stuff. If not crazier.
And now he just is doing that program with
Andrade.
Andrade.
They have had some unbelievable matches.
Yeah, correct.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was. I tell you what, that's when I watch SmackDown, it kind of slows down for me a little bit because I actually watched that match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it's, and like I said, from back then to now, totally different body styles, totally different.
But I can tell you what, I can't remember what a great match was on that WrestleMania card, like wrestling match.
Exactly. I don't. It's.
I would assume that Steamboat and Matt Bourne was probably a good match.
Because you had Steamboat at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody.
Steamboat could wrestle Barry Horowitz and make it a
But
good match.
Santana's not gonna. He can't carry the executioner in a match.
Why not?
Playboy Buddy
was a good
Rose. Was he big then? Was he overweight then?
He wasn't as overweight as he was when he was with the AWA.
Okay.
But
He was smaller than Adrian Adonis.
Yeah. Hey, that's
a comparison.
that's it. Adrian Adonis and somebody else.
Jesse Ventura.
No, they were he was tag team champs, and then that's where Rotunda and Wyndham beat him. Who was Adonis tag champs with?
Brutus, wasn't it?
No.
Adrian was a tag team champs with Jesse. But
Yeah.
that was an AWA.
Yeah.
That was well, because what were they called back then? What was their tag team name?
I don't know.
I know. I just picked up my phone.
Come on.
I know. I can't think of it right now. I'm brain farting.
Okay, where were they from? One was from California. One was from like New York.
Was it Hot
Some
Bodies?
connection.
East-West connection.
Yeah. Yeah. East-West.
Damn it, Mike.
it was right at the tip of my tongue, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They had a manager, right?
I do not. If they did, I think it was Bobby Heenan, because Heenan was back in AWA back in the day.
Oh.
It could have been Heaney. I'm not 100% sure
I'm
on
not
that.
positive either.
But yeah, it was the East-West connection, because that's where. Because like I said, Ventura was from California, and New York was Adonis, right?
Yeah.
Now,
But getting back to like the big guys though, Vince did have like a fetish with big guys. I mean, he would push any little guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Probably for the same reason that I look at it. It looks believable.
But would you rather have a little, like I shouldn't say little, but a smaller wrestler that's a damn good wrestler, or would you have this 400-pound guy that's a horrible wrestler that does like 4 moves?
No, at that time it
Which would
was
you rather have?
if you had a physique.
Yeah.
If you look good,
Because
we'll do good things with you.
Because at that time it was like that's where you had your Andre Giant, Big John Stud that were just big guys. They were both 7 foot tall.
Yep.
And Bundy, who was 6'5"
those were the
at
special
450.
attraction guys.
Those are and then you had your Hulk Hogan's, the
Don Morocco's.
Don Morocco.
All
the
those guys
weightlifters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
From
Don
Ventura.
Morocco.
Ventura was a big bodybuilder back then.
Billy Graham, superstar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that guy.
That air.
Billy Graham?
That air. Holy shit! What was that? We all stopped at this.
Man, he had.
I didn't
look.
care for him.
Who?
He had the
Superstar?
physique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't care for Billy Graham. Sorry.
Why not?
I don't know. I just never really
Because he
liked him.
wasn't Greg Gagne.
Oh, jeez.
Who would win in a match between Greg Gagne and Billy Graham?
Greg Gagne.
There's a
But
match
like-
out there.
Like we were talking off air, I watched WrestleMania 3 for the first time in like 20 years, and when we were kids, it was like Hulk Hogan versus Andre.
And that was like the greatest thing ever. Because you never thought you'd see that.
Yeah, you never did. But if you watch it now, that was a terrible match. It was Andre can't move.
Yeah.
No, and that's what they said is that at that point, Andre was pretty much on. His
back was shot.
Yeah.
If that match would have happened today, it wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have let Andre go out.
They would have suspended Andre, and then
Did you ever hear like the backstory of that build up to that match? Hogan is like for weeks trying to get to Andre and ask
To talk.
him,
Yeah.
like, hey, what are we doing for the match? What are we? Don't worry, boss.
Don't worry about boss.
oh yeah, was that the HBO special?
Yeah,
Did you
I
watch
think
that?
that's what it was.
Yeah,
And not until like
The day of.
maybe right before they went out.
probably during. He was calling all the spots.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Body slamming.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Because
Leg drop me. Pick me up.
Yep. That's awesome.
Sounds like
It sounds just. He looks like him a little bit too.
kind of getting scared. Good thing you're in between us.
Andre,
you'll take it first.
I tell you what, watching Andre in the 70s was awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. And they need to do more of those documentaries about the wrestlers from the early days, because that's the history of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
And
fascinating.
that's
That's
where all these guys that are coming in now, you know, granted, the guys that are coming in now, you're thinking of like Stone Cold and The Rock were their heroes and stuff like that. And then you look at Stone Cold and The Rock, well, who are their heroes? You go back to next era, and then from that era, you go back to the next era, because they all have an era that they all follow.
Yep.
And they, you know, like the Ric Flair thing, that was on ESPN, 30 for 30.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And that was a good,
That was really good.
because who do you get trained by?
Vern. Wasn't Vern?
Yeah, and who's in the same camp as him?
Here we go.
God.
We're not going to mention his name anymore.
Oh, the mic's coming off. Anyway,
Hey, was Greg Gagne in that camp?
I believe so.
Who else was in that camp?
Rick Rude?
Ricky
wasn't he?
Steamboat.
Steamboat was?
Steamboat was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Rude wasn't.
No, I don't think Rick Rude
No,
was.
my bad.
Steamboat was.
I think Steamboat was. Now that you say that, but they had a good class of people in there.
Yeah.
There was a handful of people that became. Jim Brunzell, I think, was in there with Greg Gagne.
Yes, I think so.
And then was it Brad Rangens was one of their coaches?
Yeah.
Because he was I think he was from Wisconsin too, but
He was
then
an Olympian.
He was an Olympian, and I want to say he was from I thought he was,
Appleton.
yep, that's what I thought.
Brad Riggins?
Rangens.
Ringans. I'm
He had a
trying to
physique
figure out.
on him, didn't he?
Yeah,
he was
but he was an Olympic wrestler too, though. Greco-Roman, and I think he went to a couple Olympics for America. But yeah,
I heard that camp wasn't very. When they practice in a
barn.
It is a
Yeah,
barn.
okay.
I mean,
in
the winter.
Minnesota in the winter.
asses.
Minnesota in the winter.
Yeah.
And now you've got a performance center.
Yeah. Air conditioning.
Yep.
And you know, there's still places out there that are still
Old school.
old school. Yep, where people are getting trained and they're in a where it's heated in the summer and air conditioned in the winter, basically.
Yeah.
I think Kennedy runs a school.
But his is pretty nice though.
Is it?
In Minneapolis, from what I've seen.
Doesn't Hornswoggle have like a?
He's and
Is that Oshkosh?
Isn't he like in a
well he
just a small?
ACW, but he's in a small building that they do training, I believe. And then the biggest one in the area is that Dojo of Pain, and that's where a lot of the local people have come. And that's the same thing where it's like
Where's the dojo?
somewhere by Green Bay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In that area, Dojo of Pain, it's called.
Huh.
But
Learn something new every day.
but there's a handful of people that are wrestling locally now that came out of there. But
Yeah, I just can't imagine back in the day. You know.
Getting trained by Vern Gagne in a barn, and then questioning your everything
that he
you
does.
do. It's like, do I really want to go back and do
Yeah.
this again?
yeah,
You really have to.
Where did Hogan train?
he was trained, I believe, in Florida.
Yeah.
By who?
Eddie Graham.
Was it?
Because whoever it was,
that's
they
right.
broke his leg right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To see if he can come back.
And he came back
Yeah.
after they broke his leg, and he came back, and I know the rest of the story, I guess. Became the biggest. If anybody says anything about wrestling, who's the first name that anybody thinks of?
John Cena. Nope.
Okay.
John Stossel.
Greg Gagne.
Is wrestling real?
Yeah. Yeah. They did.
That was a.
On a recent Monday Night Raw, they did that.
Baron Corbin, or not Baron Corbin.
No.
Braun Strowman really
Braun
showed
Strowman.
Saturday Night
It was-
Live that wrestling is real.
And it was-
Dr. David Schultz slapped
John Stossel.
That was the smartest. That was the smartest thing David Schultz ever did.
Yeah.
Because other than that, do you know? Nobody would have ever heard of David Schultz.
Dr. Death.
He was.
And he was in AWA.
But
That-
again, he was.
I think that's what his nickname was, Dr.
Yeah.
Death.
Steve Williams?
No.
Wasn't he from Wisconsin?
No.
Schultz?
Yeah.
No, he was a Southern guy.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he wrestled in Canada. Schultz.
But honest to goodness, That's when you think that's the first thing that comes up is David Schultz, is that interview.
On that Busted Open show, La Greca, don't they always talk about Buzz Sawyer and
Being from Georgia.
Buzz Sawyer and David Schultz having epic matches?
I don't know if, well, I just know Tommy Rich was from down there too. But it was
Wildfire.
Georgia.
Tommy
Georgia.
Rich.
But,
That guy was a talker too. He was a good talker.
well, let's get back to Mania, 'cause that's what we're talking
Do we have
about today.
anything else left?
I think we talked.
What do you want to do about? I think we're coming to the end here.
Yep.
What else can we say without
Just
The
rambling?
involvement. Why was Snuka and Orton?
I was wondering that Orton was Piper's bodyguard. I know why I don't get Snuka's involvement in the corner.
Because they needed to have Snuka in there because of what he did
What Piper did.
with Piper's Pit. Yeah.
Oh,
With the
okay,
coconut.
okay,
Coconut.
yep, yeah, that's right, that's
He
right.
hit him in the head with a
around
coconut.
It was right before Mania.
It was before
Is
Mania.
that right around?
I thought that was after
Snuka
Mania.
murdered that girl?
Could be.
Allegedly.
Oh, allegedly.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was around the 84 or 85.
No
I
kidding.
think.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why he sat out of WrestleMania.
You killed a woman. You're not getting main event now.
But no, I think that we talked about the history of Mania a little bit.
Or tried to.
Tried to. But there's so much history
Yeah,
that
exactly.
there's
You get sidetracked so easily.
there's so
And then
much history in wrestling that
It branches out
Birth
everywhere.
of
Yeah,
Vince
it will-
McMahon,
it will
bringing
always.
in- starting Titan Sports and starting his colossal empire.
but for chapter
Chapter 5. What do we want to do with Chapter 5?
5, I believe,
Do you have any thoughts?
I'm thinking we should just do a recap of like WrestleMania,
This.
because I'll be right around that time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's dissect this WrestleMania.
And see how what we can do is we can compare.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to it. The card shaping out.
It'll be good. It always is good. It's the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, I hope
and it's always the
there's a
best
couple-
show of the year.
Couple surprises.
And I'm sure they got stuff up their sleeve that I think we're going to be fine. But I think what we should do is
Really
we'll
hoping
compare.
for Sami Zayn return. At WrestleMania.
Sami Zayn versus Dean Ambrose? Oh my god.
Yeah.
But
Gross.
we'll dissect WrestleMania 35 and
Seven-star
we'll make
match.
comparisons from 35
Triple threat with ECW or EC3.
to see
Sorry.
how it's evolved.
Evolved. Yeah.
Because we all
We know there's Titantrons and theme music and
it's
pyro
in,
and stuff.
It's in a big arena.
WrestleMania 1 was what? 2.5, 3 hour show?
Yep. To now
WrestleMania 35, 7 hour show?
It's going to be 7 or 12 hours.
Last year, we talked about it on one of our first episodes. I love wrestling. Don't get me wrong. But last year, they did a pre-show at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I remember turning off my TV at 11:05. 7 hours
Yeah.
to watch wrestling? That's absurd.
But,
Rumble was like that.
but when you're paying that much money for a ticket, if I'm there, I'm gonna stay there.
I tell you what, I would be
Although-
so bored sitting
Exactly.
there.
There's.
How much
I love-
money do
I
you
love
spend on
wrestling.
food and drinks
Yeah.
sitting there for 7
I love
hours?
wrestling, but every pay-per-view has a couple clunker matches. Do you really want to
lot
sit
of them
through those
You have
clunker
to.
matches?
And at the,
You have to. You got to have time for fans to go take a leak.
Yep. But
All right, Chapter 5, we're going to break down WrestleMania
I like
35.
so I think this is a wrap for chapter 4.
They were good, guys.
WrestleMania 1. It was historic.
Yeah.
And that's why we're still here today.
It changed our lives, yeah.
It wasn't the colossal
Hustle.
tussle.
Thank God.
All right, we will see you Chapter 5. Thanks for watching.
5.
I get paid by the hour. 10 pounds of golden shower. Gotta see the vision. One that's on the ground. On a positive holler. Blank minds are always hollow. They'll be soon to follow. Living on the ground. Can't stand the sea. Try to keep in motion. 'Cause I feel so clean. Can't stand the sea. Try to keep in motion. I'm the man of the hour. hard to swallow. Gotta see the vision. One that's on the ground. He likes to finish the battle.